Every single one of us encounters people who treat us poorly as though we're disposable or insignificant. It's a painful reality of life. But it's also an opportunity, a profound opportunity, to define who we are and how we choose to stand in the face of disrespect. When someone treats you like garbage, it's not just an insult, it's a challenge. And how you respond determines not only the outcome, but the kind of person you'll become. The first thing you must do is look in the mirror. Not to find fault in yourself, but to assess your own behavior honestly. Ask yourself, am I allowing this? Am I participating in this dynamic in some way? Because sometimes, without realizing it, we permit others to cross boundaries we haven't set clearly. Fix that first. Set your lines in the sand. And when someone steps over them, calmly but firmly let them know that it won't be tolerated. Now that doesn't mean you escalate into anger or pettiness. Far from it. True strength is found in composure. When you stay calm in a storm, you become untouchable. The one who treats you like garbage wants a reaction. They thrive on seeing you crumble or lash out. Deny them that satisfaction. Instead, speak and act with dignity. Let them feel the weight of your silence or your steady, unshaken response. But let's dig deeper, because often people project their own pain onto others. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does explain it. When someone is cruel to you, consider the possibility that their actions say more about them than they do about you. Hurt people hurt people. It's an old saying, but it's true. If you can understand this, it might not lessen the sting, but it gives you clarity, and clarity is power. And here's the thing. No one else gets to decide your worth. Not a single soul. That's your job. You can't let the careless words or actions of others define how you see yourself. Invest in your own growth. Build your skills. Strengthen your mind, and remind yourself daily of what you're capable of. When your sense of worth comes from within, it's untouchable. Life will throw negative people in your path, but it also offers you a choice. Will you let their darkness dim your light, or will you rise above it? Take that negativity and use it as fuel. Every insult, every slight, every moment of disrespect, let it remind you of who you don't want to be, and let it propel you forward. And finally, don't forget to seek out the good in the world. There are people who will respect you, love you, and lift you up, but you have to make space for them. Don't spend all your energy fighting battles with those who don't deserve your time. Instead, walk away from toxicity and surround yourself with those who value you for who you are. Okay? The truth is, no one can treat you like garbage without your permission. Take that permission away. Rise, not with anger or bitterness, but with strength, wisdom, and self-respect. That's how you deal with it. That's how you win. When dealing with people who treat you poorly, the first and most important step is to turn inward and engage in honest self-reflection. This isn't about blaming yourself for someone else's behavior, but about assessing the situation objectively and understanding your role within it, right? Ask yourself difficult but necessary questions. Am I setting clear boundaries? Am I allowing this behavior to continue by not addressing it? Have I in some way contributed to the dynamic that now exists? Sure. Often, we tolerate or normalize disrespect because we're afraid of confrontation or unsure of our own worth. We might shrug off small slights or justify someone's behavior because we don't want to make a scene or risk losing a relationship. But the truth is, ignoring the problem only allows it to grow. Self-reflection forces you to confront the areas where you've been passive or complacent, and that's where change begins. This process also requires brutal honesty about patterns in your life. Have you noticed this kind of treatment from multiple people? If so, it may point to something deeper, perhaps a tendency to avoid conflict, an over-reliance on seeking approval, or even a lack of confidence in standing up for yourself. Recognizing these patterns isn't about self-criticism. It's about gaining clarity. When you can identify what's happening beneath the surface, you empower yourself to break free from it. Self-reflection also involves asking what you truly want from the relationships around you. Are you holding on to connections that drain you or bring more harm than good? Are you prioritizing people who don't prioritize you in return? These are tough questions, but the answers are crucial. By understanding your own expectations, you can start to align your relationships with what you truly deserve. Taking the time to look inward not only helps you address external challenges, but also strengthens your sense of self. It reminds you of your own value and gives you the clarity to demand better treatment. It's not about changing who you are to fit someone else's narrative, but about stepping into the person you were meant to be, stronger, wiser, and unwilling to settle for anything less than respect. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful tools you have when dealing with people who treat you poorly. Boundaries define what you will and will not accept in your interactions with others, and they serve as a line that protects your sense of self-respect and emotional well-being. And so, however, setting boundaries is not just about declaring your limits. It's about enforcing them consistently and confidently, even when it feels uncomfortable and you're starting from scratch. The first step in setting boundaries is understanding your own values and needs. You must be clear about what is important to you and what kind of behavior crosses the line into disrespect. This clarity allows you to communicate your boundaries in a way that is firm but not aggressive. When you set a boundary, you're not asking for permission or trying to control someone else's actions. You're simply stating what you require to maintain your peace and dignity. Communicating boundaries can feel intimidating, especially if you've been conditioned to avoid conflict or fear rejection. But it's essential to remember that setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-respect. When you express your boundaries, do so calmly and without apology. For example, instead of saying, "I'm sorry, but I don't like when you speak to me that way," you might say, "I won't tolerate being spoken to disrespectfully." The difference is subtle but significant. It shifts the focus from seeking approval to standing in your own authority. Enforcing boundaries is where many people falter. It's one thing to state your limits, but it's another to hold firm when someone tests them. And they will test them. Some people will push back, dismiss your concerns, or even attempt to guilt you into backing down. This is where your resolve becomes critical. Enforcing a boundary might mean walking away from a conversation, ending a toxic relationship, or firmly reiterating your stance when someone tries to ignore it. Or the key is to stay consistent. If you waver, it sends the message that your boundaries are negotiable, which undermines their purpose. This need not be harder than it has to be. It's also important to recognize that not everyone will respect your boundaries. And that's not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their inability to honor your needs. In such cases, you may need to reassess the role that person plays in your life. Setting boundaries is not about controlling others, but about controlling your own environment and protecting your mental and emotional space. When you establish and maintain strong boundaries, you create a framework for healthier interactions and relationships. It signals to others that you value yourself and will not tolerate disrespect. And it serves as a reminder to yourself that you deserve to be treated with kindness and dignity. Focusing on self-worth is a foundational step in dealing with people who treat you poorly. Your sense of self-worth is what determines how you perceive yourself and ultimately how you allow others to treat you. When you prioritize your self-worth, you send a clear message to both yourself and the world. You will not accept anything less than respect and fairness. But developing and maintaining a strong sense of self-worth requires intentional effort, especially if it has been eroded by past experiences or toxic relationships. It begins with recognizing your inherent value, which is not tied to external achievements, the opinions of others, or the roles you play in their lives. Your worth is intrinsic. It exists simply because you are a unique individual with your own thoughts, feelings, and potential. Reminding yourself of this can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've internalized negative messages about your value. However, affirming your worth on a daily basis, even through simple acts like speaking kindly to yourself, can begin to shift your mindset over time, right? Part of building self-worth involves examining the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve. Are you carrying beliefs that you are not good enough, that you must earn love or respect, or that you're somehow less deserving of kindness than others? These beliefs often stem from past experiences such as criticism, rejection, or neglect. Identifying these limiting narratives is crucial because they shape how you respond to mistreatment. Once you've identified them, challenge them. Ask yourself whether they are based on fact or fear, and replace them with affirmations that align with the truth of your worth. Another critical aspect of focusing on self-worth is taking care of yourself. This means not only prioritizing your physical well-being, but also nurturing your emotional and mental health. Engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Spend time with people who uplift you and invest in your growth and education. When you actively care for yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are deserving of good things, which strengthens your sense of worth. Your self-worth also grows when you acknowledge your accomplishments and strengths. Take time to celebrate the progress you've made, no matter how small it might seem. Reflect on the challenges you've overcome, the skills you've developed, and the positive impact you've had on others. This helps to counteract the negativity from people who might try to diminish you. Remember that their inability to see your value does not diminish it. It only reveals their own limitations. Boundaries are another vital part of maintaining self-worth. When you have a strong sense of your value, you naturally become less willing to tolerate disrespect or mistreatment. You understand that allowing someone to treat you poorly is not only harmful, but also incompatible with the respect you owe yourself. Enforcing your boundaries, even when it's difficult, is one of the most powerful ways to affirm your self-worth. Ultimately, focusing on self-worth means making a conscious choice every day to value yourself, even when others fail to do so. It's about taking control of your narrative, treating yourself with kindness, and refusing to let anyone's negativity define how you see yourself. Empathy and understanding are powerful tools when dealing with people who treat you poorly. While it might seem counterintuitive to extend empathy to someone who disrespects you, doing so can provide valuable perspective and help you navigate difficult interactions with clarity and composure. Empathy is not about excusing bad behavior or tolerating mistreatment. It's about recognizing the humanity in others even when their actions are hurtful, and understanding the factors that might drive their behavior. People often act out of their own pain, insecurities, or unresolved struggles. When someone treats you poorly, it's frequently a reflection of their inner turmoil rather than a true assessment of your worth. They may be projecting their frustrations, fears, or feelings of inadequacy onto you because they lack the tools to process these emotions in healthier ways. Understanding this doesn't mean you have to accept their behavior, but it can help you detach from it emotionally. You start to see that their actions say more about them than they do about you, and this awareness can shield you from internalizing their negativity. Empathy also helps you avoid falling into the trap of escalating conflict. When someone is rude or dismissive, the natural instinct is often to respond in kind. However, this only creates a cycle of hostility and can leave you feeling worse. By approaching the situation with understanding, you can break that cycle. For example, instead of reacting to someone's anger with anger, you might acknowledge their frustration and address it calmly. This doesn't mean you're agreeing with them or condoning their behavior. It simply means you're choosing to respond in a way that aligns with your own values and maintains your integrity. To cultivate empathy, it can be helpful to ask yourself what might be driving the other person's actions. Are they under stress? Are they dealing with challenges you're unaware of? While this doesn't justify their behavior, it can shift your perspective and help you see them as a complex individual rather than just a source of negativity. In some cases, expressing genuine curiosity about their situation can even lead to constructive conversations that improve your relationship. Practicing empathy also involves recognizing that everyone is flawed, including yourself. We've all had moments where we've acted out of frustration or hurt, and reflecting on these moments can make it easier to extend understanding to others. This doesn't mean lowering your standards for how you should be treated. It simply means approaching situations with compassion rather than judgment. However, empathy must always be balanced with self-respect. While it's important to understand where someone is coming from, this doesn't mean you should tolerate ongoing disrespect or allow their issues to become your burden. Healthy empathy involves maintaining clear boundaries and prioritizing your own well-being while still striving to see the situation from the other person's perspective. Empathy and understanding don't just benefit the other person, they also benefit you. They help you stay grounded, reduce stress, and approach challenges with a sense of control. By choosing to view difficult people through a lens of compassion, you free yourself from the emotional weight of resentment and create space for more constructive interactions. So choose to be compassionate. Redirecting energy is a transformative approach when dealing with people who treat you poorly. Negative interactions can be draining, leaving you feeling frustrated, powerless, or even stuck in a cycle of overthinking and self-doubt. The key to breaking free from this is to take the energy that would otherwise be spent dwelling on these experiences and channel it into something productive and meaningful. By doing this, you not only regain control over your emotions, but also use the negativity as a catalyst for growth and improvement. The first step in redirecting energy is acknowledging the impact that mistreatment has had on you. Suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist only traps that energy inside, where it can fester as resentment or anger. Instead, face those emotions head on. Give yourself permission to feel hurt or disappointed, but then make a conscious decision not to let those feelings define you or control your actions. But recognizing the emotional weight of the situation, you can begin to convert it into motivation rather than letting it drain you. Once you've acknowledged your feelings, shift your focus to actions that empower you. One of the most effective ways to redirect negative energy is by setting personal goals and working toward them. Whether it's pursuing a new skill, advancing in your career, improving your physical health, or engaging in a creative project, channeling your energy into self-improvement helps you regain a sense of purpose and control. The progress you make in these areas serves as a tangible reminder that you are capable of growth regardless of how others treat you. Another powerful way to redirect energy is through physical activity. Exercise, for example, is an excellent outlet for releasing pent-up frustration or anger, whether it's going for a run, practicing yoga, lifting weights, or even taking a long walk. Movement not only helps clear your mind, but also boosts your mood through the release of endorphins. Physical activity becomes a form of self-care, reminding you that your well-being is worth prioritizing. Channeling energy into helping others can also be incredibly rewarding. Volunteering, mentoring, or simply being there for a friend in need can shift your focus away from negativity and toward meaningful connections. Acts of kindness not only make a positive impact on others, but also reinforce your sense of purpose and remind you of the good you can bring to the world. Redirecting energy also involves changing the narrative in your mind. Instead of viewing negative experiences as setbacks, see them as opportunities for learning and growth. Reflect on what the situation has taught you about yourself, your boundaries, or the type of relationships you want to cultivate. Use that insight to make adjustments in your life that move you closer to the person you want to become. When you approach challenges with this mindset, they lose their power to hold you back and instead become stepping stones toward your goals. It's also important to remember that redirecting energy doesn't mean suppressing the desire for justice or fairness. If you've been wronged, it's natural to want resolution or accountability. However, holding on to anger or fixating on how to get even only keeps you tethered to the negativity. By choosing to focus your energy on building a better future for yourself, you free yourself from that cycle and shift the power dynamic back in your favor. Redirecting energy is an act of reclaiming your power. It's a declaration that you won't let someone else's behavior dictate how you live your life or how you see yourself. Each time you choose to invest your energy in growth, creativity, or meaningful action, you're turning what could have been a setback into a source of strength and transformation. Surrounding yourself with positivity is an essential step in creating a life that uplifts and supports you, especially when dealing with people who treat you poorly. The people, environments, and influences you allow into your life have a profound impact on your mental and emotional well-being. When you prioritize positivity, you create a buffer against negativity and strengthen your ability to face challenges with resilience and clarity. It starts with being intentional about the people you choose to spend your time with. Relationships should be a source of mutual respect, encouragement, and growth. When someone consistently brings negativity into your life through criticism, disrespect, or toxic behavior, it drains your energy and can erode your confidence over time. Surrounding yourself with positive individuals means seeking out those who celebrate your successes, support your dreams, and challenge you to become the best version of yourself without tearing you down. Finding positive people doesn't necessarily mean looking for those who are always cheerful or optimistic. Positivity comes in many forms, such as kindness, authenticity, and a willingness to listen without judgment. These are the qualities that foster meaningful and supportive connections. When you cultivate relationships with people who share these traits, it creates a sense of safety and belonging that allows you to thrive. In addition to personal relationships, the environments you spend your time in play a crucial role in shaping your mindset. Spaces that are chaotic, stressful, or filled with negativity can have a subtle but significant impact on your mood and energy levels. Creating a positive environment might involve decluttering your home, adding elements that bring you joy or peace, or seeking out places that inspire you, such as parks, libraries, or creative spaces. Surrounding yourself with beauty, order, and calmness can help you feel grounded and focused. The media and content you consume also influence your outlook. Constant exposure to negativity, whether it's through news, social media, or entertainment, can lead to feelings of anxiety, frustration, or hopelessness. Be mindful of what you allow into your mental space. Choose content that uplifts, educates, or inspires you, such as books, podcasts, or films that align with your values and goals. By curating your media consumption, you reinforce a positive mindset and protect yourself from unnecessary stress. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean ignoring or avoiding life's difficulties. It's about building a foundation of support and strength so you can face challenges with confidence. This might include developing habits that cultivate positivity within yourself, such as practicing gratitude, mindfulness, or affirmations. These practices help shift your focus away from what's lacking or wrong and toward what's good and possible. And over time, they reshape your mindset, making it easier to navigate negativity without being overwhelmed by it. Another aspect of surrounding yourself with positivity is finding communities or groups that share your interests, passions, or values, whether it's joining a club, taking a class, or participating in a local organization. Connecting with like-minded individuals creates opportunities for inspiration and growth. These connections can remind you that you're not alone and that there are people who understand and appreciate you for who you are. It's also important to distance yourself from people and situations that consistently bring negativity into your life. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off at the first sign of conflict, but it does mean being discerning about where and with whom you invest your time and energy. Letting go of toxic relationships or environments can be difficult, but it's a necessary step in making room for positivity to flourish. When you surround yourself with positivity, you're not just creating a better external world, you're also shaping your internal world. You begin to see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as temporary, and relationships as sources of strength rather than stress. It's a conscious choice to prioritize your well-being and to build a life that reflects the respect and kindness you deserve. In the journey to surround yourself with positivity, you are making a powerful statement about your worth and your vision for the life you want to lead. It's about creating an environment that nurtures your growth, protects your peace, and reminds you of the beauty and potential within you. By seeking out uplifting relationships, curating your surroundings, and fostering a mindset rooted in gratitude and hope, you take control of your narrative. Remember, positivity is not just something you find. It's something you choose and cultivate daily. With this intentional focus, you can rise above negativity, embrace your strength, and build a life that reflects the joy and respect you deserve.